You are now. Somebody said, hey, Eugene, I can't hear you over the music. The music is only the first 3 minutes. About to witness the awesome crushing might and Eugene S. Robinson show. Welcome, my friends. We're sure to see you never ends. It's the Eugene S. Robinson Show Stomper version of 316. And then there we go. 316. Got a lot to talk about today. But first, let's have Bob Riley sing us in, and he has every week since 2007. It's Intro All or Nothing from Calling of the Just by the band Stigmata. Still available from Revelation Records in Huntington Beach, California. If you shoot your deck in the nightclub, call it a hammer, and run your mayor boat him out of town to open up a substandard restaurant that fails in Central Cali, Florida. So listen to Bob, listen well. Got a lot to talk about. Caterwaul, Minneapolis, UFC 302, the wrong one. Three people. Listen well. I just should be really well, but I'm on my way back nowhere. Well, I could not see so clear, but I'm taking a real good look at you. I'm taking a real good look at your face. So being payback is for always nothing. Yeah. All right, my friend. Well, my friends, the show never ends. But this is 316. Once again, it's only free while it's live. If you think, I'll get back to the show later, and you find it on YouTube, you can watch it for 10 minutes for free. But after that, you got to pay. You got to subscribe. Why? Because approximately it costs me $100 a week to keep it going. That's what I got to pay June. And if that's what I got to pay June, that's what you got to pay June. Pay June what you owe her, or she'll pay you what you owe her. Anyway, enough with the commercials. You know how to subscribe. You can do it if you want. At the very least, give it a thumbs up. Apparently, according to the former Kid Nate, that somehow helps. As it does with the memoir, according to Feral House, the publisher of the memoir, Walk Across Dirty Water and Straight into Murderer's Row. Apparently, more reviews, the better treated you are by Amazon. So go on Amazon. You can click it. You can do the easy thing and click a review, or you can actually write one if you've read the book. If you haven't read the book, then, I don't like to, unlike the soon-to-be fugitive Carlos Watson, I don't like to doctor stuff up. I like it organic. If it's legit, if it's 5 or 500, as long as it's real, that's what I like. Anyway, enough of that talk. Here we are on Memorial Day, a day I always confuse with Veterans Day. Veterans Day, now I've finally learned, training with enough military guys, is for anybody who's a veteran. Memorial Day is for anybody who was in the military who's dead. So Memorial Day, it should be easy. Memorialize, remember, memory, memento. Yeah, it all ties in. You got to the dead people. Veterans Day is for anybody who served. And so they're fundamentally different days. And it makes sense to me that they wouldn't be joined. In any case, that's today, also known as Monday. I would have done the shows. Hey, Mr. Robinson, we should do the show on Sunday like you usually. Well, yeah, okay. You saw the Substack came out, but I wasn't home. And moreover, I thought I was going to be in a place to do it, but we planned to Minneapolis to play this Caterwaul festival. put together by Conan, who's now named, dawns on me, I can't think of his last name. It's one of those things where, you know, from the music scene, did you ever know the guy's last? Some first names and last names are co-joined. Like I can never, like Mark Sikora, who's dead. God rest his soul. Mark Sikora. His name is Mark, first name, Sikora, last name. He used to be a host on Viva TV in Germany, was the first person to put Oxbow on Viva TV. But the way it was presented to me, I always think of him as a singularly named Mark Sikora. Not Mark Sikora or Eugene Robinson, but Mark Sikora. Some people are like that. So Conan put this Caterwaul festival on in Minneapolis, flew us out, put us up in some Airbnb, which generally I don't like Airbnbs. Airbnbs to me seem like a prelude to murder. Instead, I go for the Leonard Cohen sinister anonymity of a hotel or a motel. But in this case, we had an Airbnb wherein we stayed, which also kicked us out at 10 a.m. on Sunday so they could clean. But of course, no cleaning people showed up. So I think it's just a lie to get us out of there. But I was planning to do the show because we didn't have to get to the airport until a certain time. I was planning to do the show from there, but alas, it did not work. So, and I wasn't going to do it from the airport. I have done that before. Those of you who remember, who have the mind to remember, I did the show from the airport in Paris on my way to Milan. And I stood there and, well, I'm going to have to do too much to show it, but some of you may remember on the back of the old laptop, I had, well, let me just set the scenario. I'm standing there holding a laptop in my hand, close to my face, and I'm doing the show, complete with the fucking scream right in the terminal at Charles de Gaulle in Paris. I don't give a fuck. Fuck you guys. I've been on a plane for too long. I'm tired. I'm doing the show. So I'm standing there talking, but I got a headset on. So I'm doing the show, and all these people are walking by me and smiling or frowning. It's nothing in between. They're either smiling or frowning. And when I say frowning, I mean really fucking frowning. Like, you know, hard time. Yeah, you got it. You can't Donna Shalala me on the one show. It was the fucking Mussolini sticker on the front of the computer, which I forgot. Naturally, on a plane to Milan, it would be remembered by everybody getting on this plane. But you see, it wasn't a new picture of Mussolini that everybody would kind of remember. It was a super old one, like when he had hair and shit. So it was only the hardcore fascists who were like looking at me going, yeah, you mud man and your jokes. So anyway, I never like to miss a show. Oxbow's about to head out on tour with Mr. Bongo. And so that means I'll have two shows I'll have to do from the road, but I've done the shows from Paris. I've done the shows from Lyon. I've done the shows from Berlin. I've done them from all over the world, and nothing's going to stop me. Well, I mean, you know, except if I'm too tired or had too much to drink. But anyway, here we are. So yes, so let's go back in time. Let's go back in time to this week. All right. I don't want to get too much into this because I'm still bothered by it. Yeah, man, the old days from the car. That was from the car. That was before I was divorced, even, right? So, I'll go back to the beginning. A few things I've noted, and I can talk about this. It's my show. You don't like it? What are you gonna go fuck yourself? Something I noticed over time. Yeah, man. There's something I knew over time. It's like, if you are a person who people take a lot of pictures of, it's almost possible for you to. The only tip-off, if you watch The Irishman, the movie by Martin Scorsese, that the de-aging thing wasn't working, was when they showed De Niro walking through space. All right? I mean, the first trans person that twigged, they have a special word for, you know, if you see, the first trans person I actually identified as a trans person was somebody at Gold's Gym. And he, I'm not dead naming him. He was standing at one point. They had, back when Gold's Gym had the big hurricane doors, they would just slide open the doors and let the air blow in. I guess hoping people wouldn't sneak in to work out, but whatever. and I see the silhouette, the shadow moving by the bench that was by this front door. And I go, oh, that chick is pretty strong. And then, the perspective changes. Like I pull up on the bench next, and I look and I say, oh no, it's a dude. But the way this was clearly had been a woman, right? You can't, you can do everything. You can't. So De Niro in The Irishman, you could do all this tech shit to his face, but he still moves like. And I didn't think that shit was true until somebody, and I posted this, somebody sent me a video from a Bad Brain show like in LA from like 1984. And they go, yo, Eugene, is that you at 16 minutes and 40 seconds? And I go, and it's a Target video, Joe Reese. So it was one of Joe Reese's things. And I look at the clip, and sure enough, it was me. I had to watch it 3 or 4 times. So what is Reese doing this fucking old video camera shit trickery, speeding it up? It wasn't sped up. I was moving faster than I've ever seen myself move since about 1983. So you could de-age my face, but I'm not walking the way you can just tell how old somebody is by how they walk. And that's where the Irishman failed. I say this all to say, that if you get photos taken of you enough, just of your face or your body, or photos, static images in time, that there's an illusion that you haven't aged at all, right? Now, Lydia Lunch, tons of photos taken of her. Lydia looks very different than she did when she was 25, but she's still Lydia in your head, right? If she looks more like actually the 18-year-old Lydia than she does the 25-year-old Lydia. Now the Rollins went through a period there where he was just looking like an older woman. But I think based on a recent photo I've seen of him, he's probably started exercising again. And he just looks like Henry because he's been taking pictures, the whole time. Just go, oh, that's Henry. It's no question. So, and I'm saying this to say this all goes down the road toward Albini. Albini. So if you look at photos of Albini from the 80s, this guy was rail thin. Okay, he and I are the same age. So let's say 87. In 1987, I weighed 195. In 1987, maybe 185. My girlfriend at the time had made a chart for me because I was trying to gain weight, and she made a chart for me. It was so cute. I saved it until very recently, I saved it till about a month ago, like 10-pound increments. And then, I was supposed to check it off, and I had to do my diet. She did this whole thing for me. It's very cute. So that's how I knew. I just cleaned a bunch of stuff out. I found it, I just looked at my progress. And then you can see when I started taking steroids on it, because I went from it's 202, 203, 230. So I knew, I could tell from the chart. My point being that now, okay, so in 1987, let's see, in 1982, I was 20. So 1987, 5 years, that's 25. So in 25 years old, I was probably about 190, 95. Today, at the age of 61, I am 214. So I'm still lifting. I'm lifting fewer weights, but I'm doing jiu-jitsu, the whole deal. So you say, Eugene, from 190 to 214 is 24 pounds. Are they all good pounds? Very definitely not. Would you ever describe me as morbidly obese? You wouldn't. Would you describe me as overweight? Well, according to the height and weight chart, which doesn't take into account weightlifters, I'm officially overweight. But this is not a lot overweight, right? I mean, I could easily, because of COVID and the GI issues that I wrote about in the Substack, I dropped down to 185 during COVID. eating nothing but soup because I couldn't eat because those Impossible burgers were coring out my large intestine. Okay, this show's not about that. It's about the fact that, okay, so you look at the rail thin pictures of Albini from 1987, I would venture to guess that he was probably 135 or 140 at 6 foot tall. The pictures of him recently, you're looking at a 61-year-old man who was probably about 100 pounds overweight. 100 pounds overweight. Yep. So, okay, 100 pounds overweight. Your job is to record sessions. These sessions sometimes go 16 hours a day. So you're sitting all day on a chair that rolls back and forth. Okay. Well, what do you like to do for a hobby? Okay, I like to play poker. Another sit for hours at a table. I discover as a result of going to this festival that he also had started smoking. Now I knew he had smoked cigars, but cigars seem to me like novelty items. First of all, I don't know anybody who smokes cigars routinely, the way people smoke cigarettes. You know, you do it it's an occasion-based thing. You smoke a cigar, this pipe, it's a prop. I sometimes think when I go into a tobacco shop that, hey, it'd be nice to put some tobacco in here. I just love the smell of it. All right, there you go. This one guy smokes a cigar every day, trying to get mouth cancer. Okay, good. Keep me on track. I like that. Mr. Is. The other Mr. Is. So, smoking cigars. Now I find out he's smoking. If you watch the interview with him and Bourdain where he's eating, and then I got some more intel, and the intel is that he was not feeling good going up to it. So there were precursors. Now, Monty Valier used to play bass for Swell. There's also a guy who runs Ruminator Audio where I do a lot of recording. He, also studio engineer, came home from a long session. His wife said, hey, you don't look right. Let's get you to the hospital. They get him to the hospital. They immediately rushed him into surgery and put a stent into his heart. He was about to meet the same fate. I know, in fact, two guys. One guy's a bodybuilder who was juiced out of his head, came home, was looking a little peaked, and this guy's girlfriend was a nurse. And she goes, nah, you're not right. Let's get you there. Turned out the guy had congestive heart failure. He was 20 years old, was about to die. Most dudes, I could have my hand hanging off. Unfortunately, Andrew Weil got my head, and it's like, most things you don't have to go to the hospital for. They just cure themselves. Fuck that, I'm going to the hospital. So Albini had started to feel bad. This is all stuff I discovered over the last 2 days. Had started to feel bad days before. They didn't feel right. They didn't go in. And of course, boom, there's an old blues guy who of course, as a result of this, and people did this article, somebody did an article of people who have died, entertainers who have died suddenly. There's one guy, he died, an old blues guy, he's playing on stage, starts to have a heart attack, and his last words were, takes it now. What am I talking about? Anyway, look what you made me do! See you soon. Stay alive. Ah!